Well, hey, thanks for inviting me. I'm sort of in awe that I'm sharing a table with these two, so these are my friends, so I appreciate being here. It's an honor and a privilege. Just a little bit personally, we love our relationship with Greenville. We're a faith-based organization, and Tiana is amazing. I think she left the room. And we have an amazing staff in our city. I don't know if you really appreciate it unless you work directly with them, and I know the Neighborhood Advisory Board sees that all the time. Our elected officials are given their pound of flesh, so I appreciate your service to our community. And we do have a special place to live. I'm talking a little bit today about the softer side, because all the things you were talking about before are a little over my head. We are a faith-based organization who was blessed to be able to receive a donation of an old public school over here on West 3rd Street in one of the most vibrant neighborhoods, I believe, in our city, West Greenville. There's a richness and a beauty in West Greenville that exists nowhere else. And we'd love to have you come out and hang out with us. So we believe that the gospel has the power to transform a generation. That's why we do what we do. Our mission is all about equipping in ways that bring dignity and hope. We have 3 strategic ways we achieve our mission, and touched on a little bit. One is with workforce development and our partnership with Strive. I'll let Joyce talk more about that. And to generate economy in West Greenville. Economy is not a bad thing. And we've actually made a lot of inroads in that, so that's been a great thing. The other thing is we have an academy, a school for boys, that we started this year. It's a cutting-edge, high academics, character formation, spiritual development. It's a Christian school for boys. And the third thing we do is what we call, let's go to everything else, what we call community impact. And that's our arts programs, our weekend programming. And really, in our community impact, we go to our local community and say, what would you like to see us do? And that's why we're doing most of what we do. For the last 8 years in West Greenville, the leaders in our community, there's a lot of grandmas. That's really the leaders. And they said, you have to help us do something with these boys, which is why we have a boys' school. We're constantly getting that question, why a boys' school? And it's because the grandmas, the leaders in our community, really, that's something they wanted to see happen. So it's been a privilege to see God at work. I can't take a lot of credit for this. It's way above my pay grade. But the Lord's doing the work. And a lot of people ask, well, how do you get so much done? Like, how has this ministry exploded? And, I do believe that in the Bible it says, I think it's 1 Corinthians 13, it talks about love, right? The love chapter. And it says, without love, you can tell a mountain to move, and it moves, but without love, it's like noise. You can raise the dead to life, but without love, it means nothing. So I really believe, and as I was listening and watching body language this morning, it's like we all need to learn to love each other. Doesn't mean we all need to agree, but we need to bring civility back to our community and love, even in our disagreements. I love what John Wesley said. He said, in the essentials we have unity. So we should be unified in the fact that we love our city, we need help. Our neighborhoods need direction. We need leadership. So we should have unity in those things. In our differences, we should have liberty. We should be able to agree to disagree, but in all things, love. So I think neighborhoods are made of people. And if people aren't connected and genuinely love each other, then we're never going to advance. So again, thank you for letting me hang out with you guys. And I don't know who goes next. I didn't want the sign to go up. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good morning. I'm sandwiched between my 2 brothers that I love so much. And I'm really thankful to be here this morning, and really thankful to the city of Greenville, who we have been a partner with for many years, and thankful to the community. I am the director of the Strive program that is called, and we are happy to be a part of revitalizing people and making changes in people. With our Strive program, It's a job readiness attitudinal training program that we operate to help those that are hardest to employ to understand what it takes to get a job, but more importantly, to keep a job. And it's all about attitude, you know. A person's attitude determines their approach, and their approach determines their success or failure in life. So we help people to understand, and we empower individuals to be able to go out and know what it takes to get a job. They become our family. We let them know that we love you, and there are individuals and employers that would love to have you, but you have to show them that you love yourself and that you bring value. Mm-hmm. And we begin with that by helping individuals to understand what it means to have that good first impression. You can't go in wanting to have a bank job if you have yellow and green hair or tattoos, and there's nothing wrong with that if you want to have that. But if you want people to accept you, you have to understand the culture and by which the job that you're applying for and what that looks like. So for a lot of people, they need support. So we support the individuals that we work with. They're our families. In the beginning, they hate us because we have standards and we set the bar really high. And but at the end, I can't get them out the door. Ms. Jones, can we do this? Well, we can do that. So we're all about placement, we're all about partnership, and we're all about equipping them with the tools that they need in order to go out and do that. The other program that we operate is our Pitt County Reentry Program. Our returning citizens that are coming back to our communities each year. In Pitt County alone, last year we had 539 individuals coming back from incarceration, and a lot of them face a lot of barriers. Number one, housing, neighborhoods. They can't go back to their particular neighborhood if they have a felony because they may be near a daycare, a home daycare, and they may be a sex offender that's been lumped together with different laws that have been put on the books. So we serve as an advocate for those individuals. They have the same basic needs. These are our neighbors. These are our citizens. They need housing. They need food. They need clothing, because they come back sometimes with just what they have on their backs. So we offer hope, and we do transitional services with those individuals as well. Then we also partner with lots of folks in the community, but particularly the Pitt County Department of Social Services with child welfare to help individuals in fatherhood. It has been established that when fathers are engaged in children's lives, that the children and the families are better off. So we have what we call a fatherhood program that we operate as well. In addition to that, we have a life skills program because it's about life, and some individuals have not been had the opportunities to be afforded some of the things to get things that they need or how to go about getting it. So we teach them about life, how to live and how to love, and first themselves and then to love their families and then the community. Mm-hmm. So those are the things that we do at the Strive 3rd Street Community Center where we are, and we are thankful for that.
All right.
Oh, boy. Well, thanks, Blighton and the Neighborhood Advisory Board for having us here today. When I found out who I was speaking with, I got here this morning, I told them they had me here to introduce them. They're really awesome people. My story is a little different. I come from a law enforcement background. Early in my career, I was threatened and everything else to be fired by the police department for not taking care of certain kind of criminal problems. And I didn't know at that time. I thought they were wrong, but actually they were trying to push me to look within myself to try to devise ways of causing change. I didn't know it. I thought the traditional way was the way, and it's really not. And somewhere along in my career, it came out the thing was community policing and different kind of program, problem-oriented policing, things like this. You can't police the old way. And I didn't know, but that chief at that time, Chief Ted Holmes, who I owe him so much, saw this in me and really pushed me for this. And when he was shouting at me in the middle of the floor, he was trying to get me to open my eyes, open your eyes, and I did. And I see the world differently, and I always will. I have never been a traditional police officer. My way is that the police can't police the community police itself. We merely enforce what the police want. And we need to see our roles that way. If you're Wide Earth, you need to find another job. It just does not work. And I'm a little straightforward, and I hope you don't mind that. Through many different programs and things, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot through city council members, listening to the issues they had to deal with, and I go, whoa, I don't want to be doing that, and saw how they reason themselves out. And you just can't give everybody what they want. You have to find a median. And so in my law enforcement career, I've tried to go to a situation, try to listen to both parties, and try to find out what we could do. And somewhere along that career, I decided, well, you know, I don't want to be a police officer. I want to be a change agent for positive change. So with that, we developed certain different programs. Later, I was able to join with a group called Citizen Young Against Violence. Our primary role is to go and to fight against violence and how we can. We follow homicides throughout the county. Where there's a homicide, we'll actually go to that actual location for 3 hours, have a candlelight vigil. It got sort of getting a little dangerous because a lot of times the areas we went into with people who didn't really know what they were into were in these areas that were sort of dangerous. So we stopped that and we started having candlelight vigils at Pitt County Courthouse, which made it better because, not only for that, but because people could find us. And that works out for us. And then we have residents from different communities who are having issues asking us to come in and help them. So we started out saying, okay, what neighborhood we want to do first? We went downtown, got the stats, and we picked the neighborhood that was having high crime, and it was because of its location behind Walmart on Greenville Boulevard. Not that Walmart was causing the problem, it was the people stealing from Walmart, parking their cars, running through the area, and then when the stolen stuff in the area, it meant drugs in the area, which means gangs in the area, the whole thing. And that's why you have a nest of just negative activity. So we knew we just could not fight crime, we had to fight negativism and nuisance. You just can't go in there and fight crime. And then you have to go in there and get the people to believe that you believe in them. And then you have to show. You have to show love, you have to show faith. And this is the kind of things that we do. We picked Williamsburg Manor and Sageville Apartments, right behind Walmart. And one lady from the area came to 3 different meetings. We had a lot of meetings at churches. We meet once a month throughout the county, the city and the county. And this lady came to 3 meetings asking for help. And the church she came to eventually became, so, okay, we will help. And actually what happened, we presented a program to them where we said, most neighborhood watch programs and things like this fail because inactivity. And you know, a house get broken, everybody gets together. Somebody gets shot, everybody gets together. But it reasonably quick goes downhill. So what we said, we need to invent a model which uses something like a store, an anchor store. A big store come in, it'll bring in 6 or 7 like stores, and they actually help each other. So we developed a model where we would ask a church or an organization to adapt that community so when the house is not being broken into, that we can have ongoing activities. Things like sweet potato giveaway, end of school year jam, which after school's out, we have a little picnic on the grounds. Christmas, we give out bags, and we go ask the tenants, you know, what can you do? We found out we had tenants and we had homeowners, and that worked pretty good too. So we said, okay, you all in this park together, you all are neighbors, and we had to do a lot of visits because the people didn't actually see themselves as being one. But if you live in the neighborhood, you are. We got a lot of help from some landlords and some help, no help from others. But we look at problems like if we don't overcome the problem, it's something that we didn't do. Can't blame the tenants, can't blame the landlord. What else could you have done? And by doing this, you will find that in these neighborhoods, there's always somebody, the grandmoms and people like that, somebody in those neighborhoods who will stand up and take leadership role. And what we do, we go in and we find these true leaders in these neighborhoods, and then we support them. We develop organizations and committees and things like this, and reasonably soon you'll start seeing that negativism, the nuisance kind of things sort of start dying down because you start having cleanups, and then you start saying things to the landlord, hey, your property's constantly dirty, the trash bin is full, things like that. So you can't have broken windows, and this is an old study years ago, and going straight, you gotta fix that window. So it's not just a police problem, we didn't saw it as a people problem, and we tried to develop the people. Another thing we found is that most people, even though they live in the city, did not know how to communicate through government. but you have to communicate to government because there's your leader. These are the people who can help you if you reasonably just talk to them. So we're in there, we train these people, go to your council people, go to your different departments and tell them your problem and show them how to do it. And that's why these people start believing themselves, and you'd be surprised in a neighborhood of maybe 500-600 people, it only takes 3 or 4 to turn that neighborhood around. Just like it only takes one house to upset the whole area. So that's the approach we use, and by having an anchor, we got an anchor church, but you can have an anchor organization to go in that community and bring about change in that community. And also being a member of the Neighborhood Advisory Board is not a bad thing either, because we got a lot of help from them, and we have those people from those communities go to these Neighborhood Advisory Board, and they come back, they learn all kinds of things. So a lot of the problem is inactivity on the residents, true. But you need to go to this resident and don't beat them in the head about not going, but ask them, can you go? We'll take you, we'll go with you. Only takes a few. And then we supply them with lots of information. We do surveys. We do surveillance. We go to the area and just sit. If you go to a neighborhood and sit 2 or 3 nights, and nobody called the police to complain, something's wrong with that neighborhood. And we did this. And these are just, my organization is not just police officers. You go sit in a neighborhood and nobody calls, there's a problem. People say we need a lot of calls bad. No. That community beginning to believe in itself, begin to fight for itself. I really enjoyed your presentation because I saw a lot of things that we didn't know we did that you say we should have done, and it works. But again, I'll be brief because our time's about out. But anyway, that's Citizens Against Violence. We don't only just go after the violence, we go and organize neighborhood to be more responsive to itself and to the local government. Thank you.